Tennessee Titans fans, don't look now, but it is Christmas Eve. It is April 23rd, 2025. Tomorrow night is the 2025 NFL Draft, and as I said, it is Christmas Eve. For Tennessee Titans fans, the difference is we know what the gift is tomorrow. We know who the pick is tomorrow at this point. Even the biggest trade back truthers, even the biggest Cam Ward deniers, we're to the point now where it looks all but obvious that the Titans will be selecting Cam Ward tomorrow night with the first pick in the NFL Draft. It's Christmas Eve. We know what the gift is under the tree. We know what it's going to be. Now the question is, will it be a good gift or will it be a bad gift? Time will tell. But let me tell you this, and just going to kind of tell you where my head is at as a Tennessee Titans fan going into tomorrow night. I'll be live for the draft. If you don't have any plans, come hang out. I'll be live covering the entire first round tomorrow night, so come hang out. I'm excited. I talked about it on the podcast yesterday. I'm excited, and you should be too, okay? The Tennessee Titans are currently a lifeless, hopeless organization, coming off of a 3-14 season with a quarterback that we hoped would be the guy who wasn't, with a bunch of new weapons that we hoped would make a huge difference. They didn't. With an offensive line that we hoped would be much improved. It wasn't. With a defense that was not as good as people thought it would. With holes all over the roster. It was as painful of a season to watch as I've experienced. I know there were some bad seasons about a decade ago. This was right on par with those. I mean, just lifeless. No culture. No personality, no hope for a future, a new stadium being built in a couple of years, and the worst team in football in a year where there were a lot of nominees for worst team in football. There were some terrible teams, and somehow still the Titans were the worst of them. And so, yeah, it's time for a new direction. And what better way to go in a new direction than with a new franchise quarterback? You know, I get it. I'm just telling you where my head's at. I know we have major needs at edge rush. We have major needs at wide receiver. We need depth at different positions. We, are hoping the offensive line has been at least temporarily fixed by the moves made in free agency, but time will tell. We're hoping Brian Callahan can figure it out. Time will tell. But for right now, for where this organization is, as I said, lifeless, hopeless, nothing good going on, you've got to figure out a way. If you're Chad Brinker, Mike Borgonzi, you've got to figure out a way to start turning things around. You have the number one pick in the draft, okay? You have the number one pick in the draft, and you've got a quarterback there. You've got a quarterback there who, I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what the analysts say, this guy would be a first-round draft pick any year, okay? Last year, would he have gone ahead of Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or Drake May? Probably not, but you can't tell me there's that much of a difference between Cam Ward and Bo Nix. You can't tell me there's that big of a difference between Cam Ward and J.J. McCarthy, Cam Ward and Michael Penix. You can't tell me that it's just clear cut that Cam Ward would not be a better prospect than any of those guys. I think Cam Ward would be a top first round pick in any year. And he's there. You got first dibs. You got the number one pick in the draft. You've got first dibs on him. You did all the scouting. You watched all the film. You did all the interviews. You took everybody you could to his pro day. You've talked to him and you've talked to him and you've talked to him. And if you have decided it's time to swing for the fences, new GM, first-time GM in Mike Borgonzi, still got a young head coach who's only coached one season in the NFL. Chad Brinker has a new, much more elevated position within the organization. And you've decided that it is time to take a swing on a franchise quarterback. You've decided you believe in Cam Ward. You believe that that number one pick in the draft should be used on Cam Ward. And you know what? If that's what you've decided, I'm on board. I'm on board with Ward. You got to do it. because the proof is in the pudding. You can go get Abdul Carter, but Abdul Carter is not going to turn this thing around. Abdul Carter is going to be a great player, and the Titans need edge rushers. But for where they're at right now, Abdul Carter is not going to be the difference between the Titans taking a step up or not. Travis Hunter, I think, has a chance to be generational. We love using that word these days. I think Travis Hunter could be generational. But right now, until you get the quarterback thing figured out, I don't think Travis Hunter is the difference between the Titans taking a step from here to here and moving up the ladder. You can say the Titans are too far away. How many times have we heard the Titans are not a quarterback away? The Titans have other needs. Sure they do. But I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. Who was excited about the Houston Texans before they drafted C.J. Stroud? The Houston Texans were a disaster. They were awful. They were not a quarterback away. They drafted C.J. Stroud, and I'm not saying it's only been C.J. Stroud. They've had other great players come in too, but C.J. Stroud, that young rookie quarterback, comes in, changes the culture, changes the feeling surrounding the organization, ushers in a new era, and now they've won the AFC South the last 2 years. I can't stand them, but they've won the AFC South the last 2 years. Did he regress last year? Sure. Did the Texans regress last year? Sure. But they've won the AFC South twice in a row, and most people are going to pick them to win it again this year. Didn't nobody care about the Washington Commanders last year? Everybody was excited about Caleb and the Bears. Nobody was excited about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. But they are now. You looked at the Commanders roster going into last season. You didn't look at that and say, man, that's a great roster right there. That's going to be a playoff team. That team's making it to the NFC Championship game. But the rookie quarterback comes in, playing well, changes the culture, changes the feeling of the organization. Now the fans are excited. Now the players are excited. Now the coaches are excited. Now the team looks like it's functional. And now all of a sudden, they outshine anybody's expectations, including their own. Are Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud, are they the exception and not the rule? Maybe, because it's, we don't always see rookie quarterbacks come in and do what they did. Sometimes it looks like Caleb Williams, a guy who struggled his rookie season. Sometimes it looks like Trevor Lawrence, a guy who has yet to live up to the expectation. But when you have the number one pick in the draft and you are as lifeless and hopeless as the Tennessee Titans currently are, you got to take a swing. You got to take a swing. The fan base is dejected. The fan base is hopeless. The fan base, during last season and at the end of last season, it was the most lifeless and hopeless I have seen this fan base. People who were normally passionate about the Titans were just surrendered to how awful they were. This fan base, this organization needs a pulse. And you don't get a pulse by drafting an edge rusher. Do they need to draft edge rushers at some point? You better believe it. They need to draft wide receivers at some point. You better believe it. But you don't give your organization a pulse by drafting an edge rusher or a wide receiver. You give your organization a pulse by drafting a new young franchise quarterback who's going to come in here with some swagger and some confidence and usher in a new era. You have to. You have to. Look at where the Titans are right now. We can't keep doing what we did last season. It was awful. Get your biggest piece taken care of, put it in the center, and say we're going to build around him. You got the number one pick. You believe in him. And Christmas Day is tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve. Leave the milk and cookies out tonight for Santa Claus because ho, 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 tighten up, everybody.